Alright, so last night our temperatures got down to, I think like 34 was the lowest it got. So I moved all my seedlings in yesterday, so I wanted to make sure that they didn't freeze. So they're doing good. The night before it got down to like the 40s, and these cucumbers completely tanked, but they perked back up today. So pretty happy with that. I hope that they'll be fine. They're looking great. They were completely wilted over and just they looked like they were not going to come back, but they have perfectly came back, so that's awesome. And then so I have this shelf set up, and I've got some house plants up here. My husband has carnivorous plants, and then we've got this light set up for these seeds right now. But we also have another container with seeds right here, and we tried to label them, but some of our labels got too wet. They got flipped over. So some of these are going to be mystery plants. That's okay. It should be fun to figure out what's what. I had my daughter plant these. Luckily, we did one tray with vegetables and one tray with flowers and fruits. So hopefully we can put everything mostly in the right place. But everything is looking good. Brought it inside where it's nice and warm. And yeah, should be good. So in addition to the cold snap, we've had terrible winds the last couple of days. It knocked both my trellises down, and so I just moved them out of the way because the winds were just not letting up. So put them over here. We'll get them set back up. I had buried them maybe about 2 inches, an inch and a half, depending on the space, and that did great for everyday wind, but the 20 plus wind gusts we've been having nonstop for the last couple of days, they didn't make it. So we're gonna connect them back up into the beds and figure out a better way to stake them in or weight them down so that they don't fly out. But here's the overall view of the garden beds today, and everything is looking pretty good. I pulled out the 2 broccolis that were right here. This trellis, I have a video about moving a massive rose bush. You can figure out how we found and where we found that trellis right there, that little trellis. And I'm going to take you over to one of the beds. So in this bed, I've got my garlic. We did plant some seedlings here. I forget what it is. Onions are right there. We'll see how they do. I watched the In My Gardener video recently. He said onions were like really, really hard. So I don't know if I'm going to have any success, but you know, give it a shot. Over here, even though now these are more cold weather crops, I think this is radishes and turnips, I believe. They're looking okay, even after getting to just about freezing yesterday. They're looking great. Not too much going on over here. Over here looks like somebody, oh no, at first I thought somebody tried to eat it, but no, nobody tried to eat it. So I don't remember what that is, but you can see the little seedling. Don't remember. And it looks like probably the same thing right there. On this side we've got just a couple of peas, but I'm going to have my daughter show you the rest of the peas, which are actually doing really well, in just a moment. Over here we've got some, I think it's zucchini and squash, and then I planted a corn right here, but that doesn't look like corn. That seed doesn't look like a corn seed, so I'm gonna have to go and figure out what that is. So I thought it was corn, and this just looks like grass. So I don't know. This is why you should label your things, because when you go off plan, you can get confused.
So, as you can see, this is a cabbage, but since it's been out here all through the winter, it's not really going to give us any cabbages, so it's just going to give us flowers. And over here we have some garlic.
Alright, so over in this bed we've got quite a bit going on. Now this bed is mostly planted how I planned out, and I have a spreadsheet that has the plan on it, so I should be able to go back hopefully and see what's what and remember where everything is, because right now looking at this stuff I do not know. What I do know is this is garlic, this is spinach, which has been in there since winter, I don't know if it's going to get any bigger than that, but it does look a little bit better, so maybe. This is probably crepe myrtle, which just grows everywhere. I'm going to leave it for, I don't know, a little bit longer to be sure. That's something. There's something else. And that's something. Maybe tomato, hopefully. There's more somethings over there. I think some cucumbers, maybe some tomato, hopefully some tomato, because I don't know that I've seen any sprout up yet. If that's tomato over there, then this tiny little thing hopefully is also tomato, because I planted them across from each other. I think we've got a couple cucumbers here, one there, and everything is actually looking really well, even after the close to freezing temperatures yesterday. So I'm really happy about that. Those cucumbers the day before scared me, and I was really worried that everything wasn't going to make it because it got several degrees colder, but we're actually looking really good. And if I slide over here,
these are peas, and since the trellis knocked down, they are kind of confused and don't know where to go, so they keep on grabbing onto each other. So yeah.
So we have to get that trellis put back up pretty soon, as these things are getting quite long. This one's supporting.
Tangled up a lot.
Yeah, they're supporting each other right now, so we need to figure something out for them. Over here, so I planted squash over here, squash or zucchini. That doesn't look like squash or zucchini, so something might have fallen, or maybe it's a different kind that I'm not familiar with. We'll have to wait and see. Over there is definitely squash. That's precisely where I planted it, so that's good. And then right there is also squash. I think the back right one is cucumber, but probably just a fallen seed. Over here we have dragons. And then in here we have a bunch of flower seeds that were planted a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago. And they're doing great, even after the cold, so that's good. And then I had my husband clean this up yesterday. There was a whole bush here, and everything around it was dead. It was like really big and full, but everything was dead except for this one piece of it. I don't know what this is. I don't even remember if it flowers. Hopefully we can let it do some good and look really nice over here, but these just started sprouting off. So if you know what that is, let me know, because I do not. I think that one is lilac, maybe? Not 100% sure. Alright, over here are my two hydrangeas. One was pink and one was blue. We'll see how they come out this year. I hope that they get flowers. I planted them last year. Every other time I've tried to plant hydrangeas, they have died horribly. I'll show you. So this house had a hydrangea when we moved in, a very big giant one, but it never got any flowers. So we moved it right here, along with, so there's a hydrangea, some other kind of bush, some other kind of bush, and some other kind of bush, and a dragon. And all of the bushes that we moved over here died, except for this one, and it looks half dead as well. This area is just really dry, and we didn't get any rain after we moved them, and I think it was like almost summer when we finally moved them, so we made a bunch of dumb mistakes with this, so everything is dead and whatever. We're gonna dig it all out, but there's the hydrangea that I tried to save by moving it because it wasn't getting any flowers, but yeah. Anyway, so hydrangeas are over there, and then we have all of these. I'm gonna try and get a long angle. All of these hostas on the side of the house. My mom did this at her house, and I really, really liked it. So I had tons of overcrowded hostas in the front bed. I'll show you in a second. And so we split them up last year. It was a lot of work. We put each one of these in. It was just tiny little sprigs of hosta. They're looking great this year. So that is awesome. It sounds like we're going to get some more wind today too. Thought we were done with wind. We planted all these around the edge of this bed. This was more of an experiment because I had so many hostas and they were just not looking good where they were. Pardon all the rocks out here, but these were when I cleaned out this bed, I got all the trash out, all the weeds, got everything cleaned up. There's a drain pipe that goes right along the front of the bed from the gutter over there, and they have rocks all on top of it. The drain pipe is already clogged, so we already have to deal with that, but as I was digging, I was pulling out the rocks because they're all in that bed, and it makes it incredibly complicated to plant anything. But the hostas are looking awesome. Now you can see this side gets more sun earlier in the day. Those don't look as good. But if you look over here, they stay shady a little bit longer, and they look a lot better. So honestly, by the time summer comes around, these things might be too burnt up to look nice because it gets really hot in summer, and this is the front of the house where it's the afternoon heat, but we'll see. So my next project is going to be getting this bed straight. You'll see in another video, but we had a big rose bush right behind that green bush right there, and the nandinas or whatever they're called, they're doing great though. So that's where the big rose bush was, right there. And if we come over here, this is where our blackberries are, and we planted a bunch of wildflower seeds in there. Obviously not great dirt at all. I don't even know how any of that stuff lives, but we're not seeing anything pop up from that. I don't expect it to, so whatever. Blackberries, however, are looking lovely, and I am super stoked about that.
The white rose bush.
Pretty white rose bush. So this is up by my mailbox, and I've heard that lavender is really hard to grow. I put this out last year. It stayed green all through the winter, and it is just putting off so many blooms right now. It looks lovely. I need to come and trim some of it off because I did have some other bulbs in here. I didn't realize this thing was going to go so crazy. You can see that pretty little pink tulip right there. Around the other side we had some hyacinth, however you see it. Blooms kind of early, and then we had a couple of daffodils. So all of that stuff is early and bloomed out.